Hi guys, hope you're good. I just impromptu live today, wanted to jump on because I've been speaking to quite a few people this week and the same stuff is coming up again and again, so I felt like, okay, maybe that was a sign that it'd be really useful to share some things. I wanted to do it outside because it's fucking gorgeous today, even if it is cold. But my Wi-Fi doesn't go that far. So we're back inside. Hi Lou. Today I want to talk about basically why as ambitious women we fuck ourselves over. And I include myself in the ambitious, the woman, and the fucking myself over piece, definitely. Where to start with this one? So much came in. I was like, pew, 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 pew. What should I do? What should I talk about? Which bit? So I'm just going to go for it and see where we go. So basically what happens is I was thinking about this. So if I, said to you, are you somebody that lives in the past? Do you have regrets? Do you get nostalgic about stuff? Then more than likely, most women that I know, kind of ambitious women, don't do that. They don't really live in the past. They're like, hey, I'm all for the experience. I get that, I learn and that I move on. And if I live in the past, then what's the point? Because actually that isn't really relevant to today, or I can't change the past. But if I said to you, do you live in the future? A lot of women that I know spend a lot of time thinking about the next thing, thinking about what's coming up, thinking about what's on the horizon, which is great because, hey, it's all the ambition. It's the desire to want to do stuff, to want to create, to have this vision, to have these ideas. Yeah, that's what ambition is, right? It's like, hey, I want to better myself. I want to do more. I want to be better. I want to be able to create this. I've got these things I want to do. I've got these ideas. I've got these dreams. That's what ambition is. But the difficulty is that like the past, actually the future is just an illusion. So those dreams are in fact ideas and dreams and things that could potentially happen. But what we tend to do, and this is what I used to do, is actually end up spending a lot of my time thinking about the future. So it's like, well, of course I don't live in the past, because why would I do that? But actually, yeah, I do live quite a bit in the future because I'm thinking about all the things that I want to do and how I want to be better and how I want to improve and all the things I want to create. And it's like, well, whether you live in the past or you spend a lot of time living in the future, both of them really aren't living in the here and now. And so what we do, I think, is when we're ambitious and we want to do these things and we want to make things better and we want to create and whatever level that's on, whether that's for you, your business, your life, whatever, if you spend too much time thinking about all that stuff to come, then you forget very often about the here and the now. And you guys already know that, the past is the past. It's been and gone. And the future is yet to be created, and that the only control that we have and the only power that we have is over our life right now. And so sometimes I think what happens is that we get really hung up about what's coming, about what might happen, what we've got something to focus on. And I think that quite often that focus, it can be really energizing to have that. And when it's all going great and when you've got that vision and when you know where you're going with something, it's like, yeah, I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. And that can be really energizing. Yeah, I love to have things on the horizon that I'm like, great, that's great. It gives me that buzz. But when things aren't going so well and when it feels like that future is so far away, then actually that can be really draining. And so it's like we want the ambition and we want that future and we want that vision, but then if it's not really happening for us, it's like, shit, I'm so far away right now from what I want, that then it becomes really draining and really kind of negative, and the self-doubt starts to creep in because it's like, well, maybe I can't get there, or maybe that's not what I'm meant to do, or maybe it's not my path. And so what we're doing is is spending our time focused on the things that might happen. And we've kind of created these dreams, which is fantastic. But at the same time, they are yet like dreams and illusions that thing that we've decided that we're going to do, we're going to create, or that we want, that life that we want, we've decided on some level that that's exactly how it should be, and that's going to bring us the joy. And so we're waiting and waiting and waiting for that to come. And some people have that when it's like they're waiting and waiting for something to make it happen, or they're waiting and waiting that, you know, I'll be okay when, it'll be better when, you know, or I'll prove to myself, you know, that I can do this once I've done it. So I have to do it to be able to prove it to myself, but actually it feels so far away and I can't get there. Yeah, so like when you start your own business, for example, or you're trying to go after a job or something, and it's like, well, once I've done that thing, once I've got the clients, then I'll know that I'm good enough. Then I'll know that I can do this thing. But it's like, if those clients aren't coming, if that life isn't coming, if that horizon keeps continually feeling like you're just chasing the horizon, then it's like, when will you prove to yourself, how will you ever prove to yourself that you're already enough? And so I think what's really important is, it's like, this ambition is fantastic, but if you're always spending your life like living in the future, and either comparing what you haven't got now to what you want then, and not really doing anything about the now, then you're always living in like, it'll be okay when, it'll be better when, things will be different if, it'll be okay once this has happened or that has happened. But that might not ever happen. And so the only time and place, the only control that we've got is literally over what we do in this moment and how we experience it. You know, so many people, you see it, they might move into business because they think it's going to create a different life for them. But actually what they fail to realize is that they are the person that's creating that life. So if you keep doing what you've always done, you'll end up just in a different environment with the same situation going on. And if you're waiting for something to happen to demonstrate to you that you're good enough, that you're worthy, that you're, you know, open to receiving whatever it is, it's like, well, how long are you going to wait? Are you going to wait for until you catch up to that person that you want to become? Or are you going to actually decide that that's already who I am, that I already have enough? And if that isn't possible for you, then that's the work that you need to be doing. That's the work we need to be focusing in on, that we actually appreciate in this present moment who it is that we are and what it is that we're already doing. Yeah, it's like, if you're waiting for something in the future to change the way that you feel about yourself, then you're giving all your power to some external condition on the illusion that that's what you need. But the truth is, it's like if you're in a relationship where you're waiting for a guy and you're waiting for that guy to be the one to tell you how beautiful you are, but you'll never believe it because you don't believe it yourself, no matter how many times he tells you. It will grate really quickly. You won't trust necessarily what he's saying. You won't hear when he says it because you don't actually believe it in yourself. And then when he goes away or he stops telling you that you're beautiful, does that mean that you're not beautiful anymore? So it's amazing to have these dreams and to have these desires, but if they are conditional to your success, if they are conditional to your worth, then the road to getting them is going to be so fucking heavy and so difficult and so stressful, because you're waiting for something to prove to you that you're already enough. And the fact is that in this moment, you already are enough. And if you don't believe that, if what you hear from me just sounds trite and cliched, then the work isn't being done around understanding yourself enough to really tap into your own gifts and your own strengths and truly have faith in yourself and trust that what you're doing is right, irrelevant of what else is going on. Because otherwise you're just going to spend all your time chasing that horizon, waiting to become that woman, waiting for that thing to happen, when actually you already have it. You already are. And if you're always waiting for something else to prove it to you, then you will always be reliant on something or somebody else. And when that gets taken away, whether it's money, job, the person, whatever it is, the clients, the business, the whatever, then once they go, what are you left with? And you'll spend so much time clinging on and going after that thing. Focus so much because that's what's going to prove that you're enough, that you're worth it. When you had it all along. It's just that you didn't necessarily realise it. Yeah, so it's like phenomenal to have these dreams and these goals and these ambitions, but if you're using them just as a kind of a proof or evidence of what you're capable of, and to feel that sense of worth and value, then you're going to be waiting a really long time to get there. And that journey to get there is going to be a real struggle, so that when the challenges hit, it's like, what can you access to have the confidence and the courage to keep going? And I think that as women, you know, as ambitious women, we do that, is that we spend so much time thinking about what's still to come and all the things that we still are yet to do, that we forget about everything that we've done and what we already are. So there's my invitation for you. If you feel actually like that's what's going on for you, that you're always waiting or ever trying to achieve something more, it's like, well, maybe it's time to start living back in the now. And really, you know, if that job or that client, whatever it is going to make you feel in a certain way, then take the power back from that and say, okay, well, if they're going to make me feel like excited, or it's going to make me feel fulfilled, or that I'm having an impact, it's not the client that's doing that, it's you, it's what you've created, and you have the capacity to recreate that in any moment. So if you want to feel in that way, if you think that client, that job, that whatever, that person, that boyfriend, if you're waiting on that to give you a feeling, it's like, go and find the freaking feeling now and go and recreate it. Do it in a different way. Yes, that stuff may still be what's meant for you. It may still come. But if you're living there waiting for it, the distance between that is so far that your experience to get there, where's the joy in that? Whereas you can go after that feeling already and recreate it in different ways. And that's about really appreciating what you've got and using the moment, the now, as your driver, as your tool of creation, rather than always living in the ambition and the desire and what that will mean when it happens. Because that gap could be a long time yet. And that's going to make it a really painful journey. And you already know that what you live for is the experience. So make the experience in the now actually count. There you go. So that's it for today, my little thoughts. But it's amazing, like, and I used to do this all the time. All the time. Always thinking about the next thing, always going for the next thing. And it's like, actually, that will, and it will come, and it may come in, show up in different ways. But if I'm not enjoying the now, the experience of it, then what's the freaking point anyway? Because actually I'm just always going to be always reliant on something else or someone else or some external condition to make me feel in a certain way, when actually I have the capacity to feel differently right now. And you do too. You absolutely have the capacity to change the way you feel in this moment and find other ways within your control to recreate that feeling and that desire that you're searching for, that feels so far away. Cool. So, yeah, I'll wrap it up there. I've got stuff to do. Hope you're having a good day. And if you've got any questions or any comments or you're watching the replay, then give me a shout. See you later. Bye.